What's going on, everybody? Coach Chris back, the wise guy, right here on YouTube. I am in North Vancouver. We're gonna walk and talk. I'm yelling because I am under the bridge, as you can see, and I'm about to go way down there, and there's two sides that I can take. There's that side over there, that there's a pathway just to the right, or over here there is this side, nice little pools, and there is a stair pathway on the left. So let's head over there now and take a quick glance at the river. I'm going to quickly throw in some lines and hang out, see what's going on. All right. Smash that like button. I'm in West Vancouver. What's going on, Verena? I'm just roaming around right now. The West, North Shore. Woo. How's it going? How is everything for you on Amazon? Let me know. We're doing a walk and talk. This is the Capilano River. I have my rod and reel with a couple of lures. Check out this beauty. Stairs that lead right down. Rotten stairs. Muddy stairs. You're actually home for once. I know I barely ever see you live. That's all right. All right. Steep little embankment to get down here. Muddy. If I swipe out, better grab some tree branches. It's cool that there's stairs built into the side of the cliff here. All right. Nice. I want to head over to the pool. It's a little river here. Easier access to get to this one than the one we went to last Saturday. Have I ever heard of a brand called Pacon? I have not. What? I have not. What is that brand? Pacon. Is that something you're looking to sell? There we go. That's highway number 1. That's the bridge separating North Vancouver and West Vancouver. See some fish swimming. Mostly paper supplies for arts, sketchbooks, etc. Now that you say that, I think I have seen that brand. I don't think I've ever sold that brand, but I think I have seen that brand before. Is it good? Like, what are the ranks? What are the reviews? Whoa. I'll go this way. I have sold CDs, yes, and DVDs, and I still do. Not frequently. I don't sell a ton of them. But I'm always scanning CDs and DVDs. I sell more DVDs than I do CDs. That's for sure. All right. I got my fishing rods, 2 different kinds. Gets pretty deep here. If I had my waders, this would be nice. Yeah, it looks good. Let's say with COVID, looks like a lot of people are starting to become an artist. Hey Brian, what's going on? Yeah. All right. Set up my tripod. There we go. I'm gonna sit. What's going on, loving it? Give me a second here while I set this up. There we go. All right. Loving It says, Chris, how did you open your LLC in the States? Farina says, I'm waiting for a shipment from distributor and for Crayola, but you kind of scared me with the IP claims you talked about. I wanted to get ungated in that brand, but you think it's too risky. I wouldn't say it's risky if you're going through a distributor, because you can provide documentation that you purchased through a distributor. Again, that being said, if you start sourcing through Dollarama inventory, that changes everything. Again, it's one of those brands I have received an IP claim on, or a strike, or whatever you want to call it. But I've sold multiple items in that brand. I don't target it at all. There we go. I don't target the brand at all anymore. Just like I don't target L'Oreal. I honestly hope I don't catch a fish, because I didn't bring a really good set of pliers, and I hate taking fish off the hook. But yeah, we'll have to have that conversation, Verena. I don't want to scare you away from that brand. My whole thing is I've received IP claims from them. It's like L'Oreal. I'd rather just stay away from brands that are throwing claims out like that. If that makes any sense. But if you're an authorized distributor and you end up sourcing your inventory from distributors, or excuse me, but if you're not an authorized distributor, but if you're purchasing from an authorized distributor and that's where you're sourcing your inventory, then I think you'll be fine. Because all Amazon's gonna ever ask for is they're gonna ask for your invoices and proof of, that's the proof that they're gonna want. Yeah, and Brian says, watch some brands you may get from distributor and then have the company still message and say, no, you can't. And I agree. I mean, there's nothing to stop OtterBox. Same issue with OtterBox. Yeah, there's nothing to stop brands from protecting their brand. It doesn't mean you can't go direct to the brand and try to get authorization. It's very hard to do because they want you to be a distributor. But I mean, that's a whole process you can try. I would do it with brands that are valuable. I just don't, there's not a lot of money in Crayola unless it's vintage stuff. OtterBox was nice enough to let us. What do you do if you ever get an IP claim? If I get an IP claim, I respond to Amazon immediately, telling them I'm addressing the issue, removing the listing, and removing my inventory most of the time. If I catch a fish, this is gonna be epic. Might even be bears here. I hope not. Sorry, phone is acting up. OtterBox, at least let us to sell remaining inventory. That's cool. Did you have to explain to them that you bought the inventory from like a liquidation, or how did that come about? Like, how did you acquire the inventory, Brian? Brina says, am I starting to get ready for Q4 or is it too early? Brian says, we got from distributor and sent paperwork in and they contacted us and distributor and told and said we couldn't. Gotcha. I am, as far as getting ready for Q4, Verena, now is the time. We're 3 months out. July, August, September, we're 2 months out. October, 3 months out, October, November, December. So we're 3 months out. So yeah, now is the time where you want to send your inventory. I mean, at the end of the day, you want to send as much inventory into Amazon as you can. So we have always been getting ramped up. For me, it's about getting my private label products picked and paid for by August 1st. That's my goal. But we've been doing nothing but trying to send in a high volume of retail arbitrage inventory all year. Our inventory numbers are well over 100% compared to what we had last year, which is reflecting in our sales. So not Q4 specific, but was just, yes, with inventory, get your inventory to Amazon, get good quality inventory to Amazon, focus on gifts, his and her gifts, kids and children's gifts, anything that's related to what people would buy as presents. I think I need to get this lower. Inventory performance index. Hopefully everyone saw my email and my message on that. It doesn't pertain to you in Canada, so you don't have to worry about your inventory storage levels right now. Inventory performance is something though in Canada that has been added, in that you have, Amazon has enhanced their website to help you with your inventory performance and to show you what is a slow mover. I mean, they always have, but it's just more, they're focusing on that more now than ever. So you're going to know that you're going to need to pay more attention to your inventory, and it's just a matter of time before Amazon start to crack down on the levels of inventory on slow moving products in Canada. But for now, don't have to worry about it. You're going to be able to sell in the US. If you have inventory in the US, you need to look at your inventory index score. I would think you would. I do when it comes to my inventory in the US. Now keep in mind, it's all my private label inventory, and that stuff sells really fast. So I have a good score. I have a score of 506. I should be higher than that, I think, based on the inventory I have, because all my inventory is quick moving inventory. I don't have any retail arbitrage there that's sitting around. So I think my score should be quicker or higher than that, but maybe that is what it is based on the inventory I sent there. But that's good news for most people who are selling on Canada. The way to find your score is to go to inventory. I believe it's under inventory, and then to go to performance. But if you look at the my Instagram, on the page 2 of that post, there's an actual link you can type in as well to look at your inventory. In Canada, it doesn't show your score. Only on the .com, it shows your score. But in Canada, it just shows different performance metrics. So you won't have a score if you're just selling on the Canadian website. Alright, time for some power bait. Smash that like button, of course, if you haven't already. Thank you for doing that. Power bait. I have my tripod out today. You can still keep asking questions, just showing a different view, but I'm reading them. What other topics are there Amazon related? What other topics you guys got? Did you guys watch my Dollar Tree video yesterday? That was a terrible video. All it was filming the lights. Terrible. I gotta do better with my film quality. Dollar Tree, I mean, not Dollarama. Dollar Tree is hard. I like to get in and out of stores fast as I humanly can. Even if I'm scanning everything, I want to kind of go up and down aisles and see things really quick. I don't like to waste a lot of time. Stores like that I've been in 100 times. So it's not too hard for me. Okay, let's change this. Verena says, I know I've already asked, but still a little bit confused about getting ungated in grocery. Is it possible that I'm getting in the category because everything I scan is gated? Yes, it's possible that you're gated in the category. For some reason, I thought grocery was open to everybody. I could be wrong. Do me a favor and scan chocolates. And do me a favor and scan things like hot sauce by random brands. Tell me if it still shows up. But you should be able to search through Seller Central for grocery category and request approval in the grocery category, if that's the case. And they do have some criteria that they listed on there. I forget what it is. You know, as far as expiry dates and as far as how you're purchasing your inventory. Amazon have changed a lot of the rules, so I would have to familiarize myself with the grocery rules today versus 3 years ago. I can do that later. I know getting ungated in brand also and not category, but wondering. Yeah, I mean, I recently read that grocery and toys were open categories, but I don't know if that was a mistake on how old of a document I read. Because I know obviously brands gate everything now. So if it's a category restriction, you can see the category restrictions through your Seller Central. You just have to go to the right page. And that same page is where you would apply if you wanted to get ungated. See, even I fish with Dollarama stuff. I don't know if I'll catch anything with it, but you can't beat $2. We will see. Could you later, when you have time, send me a link? Yeah, you bet. I'll email you a link. I'll look into it a little bit more. But it wasn't even last week that I looked into it. And that's when I thought I recognized that they have restricted the category. But, and I want to say that it's the same parameters, 10 items from a you know, providing a receipt, or excuse me, an invoice for 10 items. But I'll look into it and definitely figure that out, because that should be something I need to know. I do know that a lot of it is also based on expiry dates as well. Application name, grocery and gourmet food application is type grocery, July 2011. Nice. Grocery is an interesting category to sell in, that would be for sure. Do I have any videos on making listings? Yeah, it's in the course, Brian. You're in that course. There's a whole section on how to make listings that you gotta follow. But there's gotta be at least 20 videos or whatever. I'll tell you what module it is later. I wanna say it's probably the third module, creating a listing. I think it's time to go to a different section. I should be here at like 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. Let's go over there. What else? When it says category under the application type, does that mean I am trying to get ungated in the category? If not, sometimes it says subcategory or brand. Yeah, I'll have to take a look. That way I can be sure. Nothing's chasing my lure, so I'm gonna have to change locations. Time to change locations. So far, so good. Great questions, guys. There's got to be new emails from Amazon. Has anyone received any new email from Amazon warning us about anything? I'm at 20% battery, so I'm gonna go until my battery dies. Nope, nothing. So where should I go? I'm gonna do a couple of hot location retail arbitrages this weekend. Places I've never been. So one place I've never been is called Home Hardware. I'm sure you guys have been there, but I'm gonna try to hit up a Home Hardware and do a live from in a Home Hardware, a scan alert. I'm gonna try to hit up a thrift store of some sort to see what those are like, because I never do those places either. So those, let me just put this over my shoulder. Those are coming up this weekend. All right. So those will be scan alerts. What stores do you guys want me to go into and do a walkthrough? Let me know. Give me a list of stores now. Because I can't keep doing Dollaramas all the time. It's like the same thing over and over for everybody. Although it is by far the best place to do retail arbitrage. Make sure you guys have your notification bells clicked so that you know when I'm in the stores, or just watch them after I'm done. What stores do you guys want me to go into? I mean, we got them all. Obviously, Walmart. We got Home Depots, Staples. But let me go into stores that I don't have videos on yet. And I know Home Hardware is kind of one of those stores that I want to see what they're all about. Walmart to me is like, when I go there, I'm mostly buying trendy stuff that I know is popular, that I'm buying at literally like retail. Okay, I don't need to go under the bridge. Okay, let's go this way. Thrift stores, there's let's go back up this way. The problem with going into the forest is it's easy to get lost. Thrift stores will be interesting. I don't know if they have new products. I know they'll have books, and I know they'll have... I'm not a clothing guy. I don't plan on selling clothing unless the opportunity was irresistible. Who sells clothing? I'd be curious. I know, Brian, you did some clothing. I'm curious what the process is for clothing. I've never even really... I don't think I've ever worked with somebody who's done clothing. I don't even think I've watched many videos on clothing. I'll do Winners and like a Ross or something, so I can do the shoe game. It's a very long process. It seems like a tedious process. It definitely seems like a tedious process. Even like all the different ASINs. Most of the clothing I sell local. Oh, this is the hardest part. My hike back up. Ugh. Probably like 300 feet down. You get a lot of returns on Amazon with clothing, I guess, because people can't try it out, and you're playing with their fashion. You know, if I bought a shirt and it did fit, well, Amazon's return policy is so easy, isn't it? That it'd be so easy to return stuff. And oh, there we go. Focus more on hard good items. Yeah. And I think, you know, if you can discover, like I say, rank doesn't account for rare, but also rare is very profitable. So if you can discover older stuff, whoo, done. Okay, let's go to the other side of the bridge. I parked over there. That was a workout. My heart rate's up. I need more of those. Blue sky's coming out. Very nice. One thing that I like to sell, and I got the question, I think, from Giggles. He said, what did he say? Something about, do I care about the risk on selling expensive stuff on Amazon? It was so nice. Meaning, like, if I'm gonna buy something worth $50, you know, or spend $100 per item, do I care? My answer was no. I love it. I love it. You know, because I'm at a point now where $100 investment isn't a scary risk for me, but that might not be the case for you. You always have to get intimate with what amount of money you're willing to risk, that you can afford to lose. Like if I sourced 10 products that were $50 each, that's $100 in inventory. Could I afford to lose that inventory? Yes, but maybe you can't, right? So, but you're always trying to increase that number. You know, today that number will be different tomorrow versus what it was yesterday. You know, I want to get to the point where I can source $50,000 in inventory, and although I would hate to lose that investment, that it not hinder, you know, or break my step going forward, kind of thing. If you get my sentiment. Point is, I like bigger ticket items because the competition is much smaller in those categories. So I like bigger ticket items. I find they're very profitable. If I put $50 in, on one sale I can get $50 back, or $100 in, get more than $100 back. Here we go, here's our entrance. And I encourage everybody to try to source products that they can buy for $30 that resell on Amazon for over $100, $130 kind of thing. Ooh, this is a nice set of stairs. Much easier. All right, I'm at 10% battery, which probably equates to 10 minutes. Keep your questions flowing in. This is a nice little hike. This side of BC, this shore, is called the North Shore, North Vancouver, is probably top 3 when it comes to trails. So if you love trails and you love hiking, there's thousands of trails just off the city streets that take you into the forest and around the rivers. Built stairs, like we're talking kilometers and kilometers of trails. Very nice. I've never actually been to this part. This is new for me, but very cool. Don't know which way to go. I think I'm gonna go right. Feel like I'm in a Dollarama and I chose to go right. Now I'm in a houseware section. Quiz me on Dollarama, feel free. Most profitable thing I ever sold from Dollarama cost me $4 and I sell it for $50. That's the most profitable item. A little bit of a pain in the ass to get down to the water here. Not deep. The pool is over there. Don't really want to go down there. Just jagged rocks everywhere. I don't know if you can tell the depth from a video. Fascinating thing about returns, knock on wood. Brian, actually, I'll say Brian says most of my clothing comes from Walmart, Overstock, and people love Walmart stuff when it comes cheaper than Walmart. Yeah, that's a good point. If you can get Overstock from Walmart, you'd be competing with Brian because he loves that game. But obviously it's profitable. And yeah, people love Walmart stuff. About returns, what would be a percent of returns that would be normal when starting out and selling retail items? Good question. I mean, here's the thing. I don't pay a ton of attention to monitoring my returns. I see them come through on my emails every day. I get a return, maybe 1 or 2 returns a day. So I see them come through all the time, but I don't really give it a second thought. For me, it's part of the business of selling on Amazon. And so for my goal, if I can focus my attention onto selling products and continually increasing the volume of products that I sell on Amazon, then, to me, it's more important than monitor returns. That being said, you should monitor your returns when it comes to why are people returning it. Like if you have a product and people keep returning, like especially if you're in the private label game. So I'm always looking at why I'm getting a return, especially on my private label, because Amazon will shut your listing down if you continually get returns for the same reason, because they're trying to protect their customers. And that could be a pain in the ass. It's easy to get your listing back up and running, but you do have to make sure that Amazon know about the changes or the action that you took to satisfy their customers. So it's response and response. You got to respond to to Amazon, and then respond to your listing, and then reactivate your listing. My best listing gets closed down once a year, because whether it's attacks from other sellers who sell the same product, or just a volume of returns that I receive at any given time, it's also my highest volume product. So I always respond to Amazon. I let them know my action plan, which is let me look at my return reasons. Let me have, and I usually have a template. It's the same template. And then I reactivate my listing, and I'm usually good for another year. I always expect my listing to be closed down every year, which is scary because the last thing I want is to be closed down permanently. And that goes for everything. But I don't monitor just the day-to-day retail arbitrage returns. To be honest with that stuff, I don't spend enough money on that stuff to really care, unless it were like a staggering amount. So that's my approach. It doesn't have to be your approach. Brian says I had one shut down. And yeah, I do get listings shut down. I've purchased products, for example, I bought a bunch of board games at $30 a board game that were selling on Amazon for $100, just under $100. And it got shut down, and I was accused of selling a counterfeit product. My action plan was respond to Amazon, let them know I'm on it. I'll look at the product. I'm going to recall all the inventory. I'm going to connect with my distributor, and thank you, Amazon, for letting me know. That was my response. I recalled all the inventory, and I'm moving on. So that's kind of my game plan. That might be a challenge for somebody who's new. So it's different for everybody. I wouldn't pay attention to things that are just inexpensive for you. But these, for me, are few and far between. I'm more profitable than I am losing money on Amazon. So what attack methods have I seen? I say attack methods, Brian, because I only hear about them. I hear about how sellers in China attacked successful listings in US with bad reviews, with negative reviews. That's the most common attack, is the multiple accounts attacking reviews with negative reviews. And the more negative reviews you get, especially if you don't have a lot of positive reviews, will shut you down. And it seems to be a very common thing. In fact, Amazon have put up information that if you feel that this is whatever terminology they use, but let's just say an attack on your listing, you can reach out to Amazon and report it. So it's just a process. It seemed like I have 700 5-star ratings on my best product. The product is ranked top 10 half of the time, And every so often I get a bad review that I just go, wow, how is that review shut? Or how, every so often I get shut down. Every year I get shut down. And I ask myself, how is this happening when I have, 700, so 800 reviews, about 500 are 5-star reviews. How is that happening? So I question it. And a lot of times I'll post that information to Amazon. The feedback I'm getting is very positive, and but here's my action plan, blah, blah, blah. So, it depends on every case. You have to look at reviews, and that's a really good topic. Refunds, reviews, monitoring your sales, monitoring your refunds. Here's what I do. Here's what I do, Verena, is I do recall my inventory because I want that inventory back. So a lot of times I'm recalling that inventory, reviewing the inventory, and I'll send it back to Amazon if the inventory is new. And again, a lot of times refunds are just people didn't want the product, like clothing, didn't fit their needs. So a lot of that time, that stuff is supposed to go back into your inventory. When I started, I had my account shut down for 30 days. Wouldn't they have to buy an item from you to leave a review? Correct. They have to buy items from you to leave reviews, 100%. And that's what's happening. I mean, that's what's happening. If you look at some of the best private label sellers out there who have YouTube channels, they talk about it all the time. They talk about a slow approach rather than a fast approach to ramping up your private label listings now. Because if you're slow, meaning, get a star every month, get a couple stars every month, 5 stars, take a slower approach. I don't know if that's slow, but don't try to get 30 5-star reviews in the first month kind of thing. Take a slower approach, fly under the radar, and let your listing grow organically where that, either you're not being discovered by these sellers. Now in Canada, I don't know if it's as big as an issue. I don't think it's as big as an issue, but it is a big issue in the US. Enough so that Amazon have had to address it. That accounts are being attacked and being shut down because they're being bombarded by sellers in China leaving negative reviews that are shutting down competition, not just sellers, direct competition, closing down listings. It's easy for them to do, right? Because it's worth it in the long run. Well, I don't think I'm going to fish on this side. And my battery is almost out. It's been a great hour. I'm going to likely see you guys tomorrow when I do some scan alerts. So jump in on that. Smash your like button right now. Thank you for hanging out. And this has been a fun one. Coach Respect, a wise guy. Subscribe, and we'll see you guys later. Peace.